everyone, Emily here from Emily Reads, and today I have for you my September TBR and MBR. So I'm going to be participating in Series September, which Krista over at Books and Jams and Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand have put together a bingo board for. And so the whole purpose of Series September is to make progress on some series that you own and just need to start finishing or working your way through. In addition, it is Sci-Fi September. So I do have some sci-fi books on my TBR. They are not all sci-fi. Um, I couldn't make it work with some of the books that I for sure definitely wanted to read next month. So I've got a mix of sci-fi and fantasy. So that being said, let's go through these prompts. So the first prompt is, let's get it started. So read the first book in a series. That would be Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. It's been on my TBR for months. I don't know if I'll read it in September, only because I feel like it's going to need some brain power from me, and it's been a rough start to the school year. So I for sure will read this at some point in time this year, maybe over Thanksgiving weekend. Maybe I'll read it over, I'll start it over like parent-teacher conference weekend, because we have a 4-day weekend then, or maybe I'll read it over winter break. Either way, at some point in time, this for sure will get read this year. It just might not be in September. If I have time to circle back and complete this prompt, and I'm not feeling Fifth Season, like my brain is not there, then I plan on reading The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. Because while it is thick, and actually it looks thicker than it really is, it's 500 pages, which that's not terribly bad. But I don't think it's going to require the brain power that Fifth Season will. Then the next prompt is double it up. So read 2 books in a series. So for that, I plan on reading Death Masks and Blood Rights by Jim Butcher, which is book 5 and book 6 in Dresden Files. And this would also work for another prompt later on the bingo board. But I've actually already started Death Masks and I've stopped reading it. I haven't read a Dresden Files book in a few months. I typically like to read these between chunkier fantasy novels to kind of give me a palate cleanse, and I haven't been doing that lately, only because it's summer break. And so it was summer break for me, and so I was able to just knock through books and be okay, whereas now I feel like I probably will need something lighter in between some of the heavier picks. Then the next prompt is Blast from the Past, and that is a book from the oldest series on your shelf. So that could either be something that you've owned for a really long time. For me, I'm interpreting it as a series that was written a long time ago. And this book is actually 46 years old. And that would be Patternmaster by Octavia E. Butler. Now, depending on who you follow, this was written and published first, but there's another book in the series that chronologically would go first in the series. I'm going to go publication order. So this is her first book in the Patternmaster series, from what I understand. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments below. I read Kindred. I really enjoyed it, and I want to read more by her. It's a shorter book. It's 200 pages long. However, I know that it's going to, while it's only 200, it's 202 pages, it will still, content-wise, be deep and heavy. Then the next prompt is Talk of the Town. So read a book from a popular series or read an award-winning book. And this book won the Hugo Award. And that would be Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. And this is the 4th book in the Hainish series. However, from what I understand, you can read it as a standalone, And it's been on my TBR. I really want to read this book. And someone in my small group the other week when we met said, "Hey, have you read The Left Hand of Darkness?" I said, "No, but it's on my TBR." So he really wanted to be able to discuss it with someone. And so that's why I plan on reading this, because you want to talk about a book, and a book that I wanted to read anyway, I will read it so that we could talk about it. So then the next prompt is that's a wrap, and the prompt, so basically finish a series. Where I'm at in my series reading, I would either have to start and finish a trilogy, or I could read this book, which I honestly don't think I'm going to get to this month. And that would be Assassin's Fate by Robin Hobb. So this is the third book in the Fitz and the Fool trilogy, and the 16th book in the Realm of the Elderlings trilogy. It's a chunker. It's over 900 pages long. I don't think I'm going to get to it in September, but it's there. If I have time, I will read it. Then the next prompt is out of the box. So basically read a new genre, read a book from a series in a new genre to you, or read out of your comfort zone. Read, if you're primarily a physical book reader, listen to an audiobook, or if you don't do mixed media, do a mixed media, that kind of thing. So I chose to go out of my comfort zone with an author that I read a couple of his books back in the 8th grade, and he's quite popular, he's quite prolific, but I don't do horror. I don't do horror. So this is really out of my comfort zone. I've heard really good things about this series, and I actually have most of the books in the series. I'm missing 2 of the books in the series. So I'm going to read The Gunslinger by Stephen King. I'm really nervous about reading this book. Not going to lie. I think Stephen King is a genius. I mean, from what I have seen from him, like I read it, I read Carrie, I've seen some of The Shining, I have seen Misery, I have seen it. I think he's a freaking genius. He knows what scares people. I am terrified of clowns to this day because of It and Poltergeist. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to go into like this, but I do want to read this because, like I said, I have a lot of the books in this series. So I want to get to this and then know if I want to continue on with the series. Then the next prompt is you own it, now start it. So basically, you own it, so start it. Or it's been sitting on your shelf for a while, and that would be Unwind by Neil Shusterman. I bought this back when I was big in dystopian YA fiction, and I still like it, but it's not like my main go-to genre like it used to be. And I wanted to start it, but I also was like, let me just wait until I have all the other books. So I found all the other books, like at used bookstores. And the premise of this is that basically life is protected until you turn 13. And then once you turn 13, between the ages of 13 and 18, parents can unwind their child. So meaning like they'll take your organs and transplant them into another body, so that way life doesn't technically end. Like I guess they can keep doing that over and over again. So these 3 kids, they decide to run away so that way they can survive. So I have all the books in the series. So we're going to start it. Then the next prompt is now you can watch it. So this is something that's been adapted either for TV or for the screen, the big screen, and that would be Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. This is the first book in the Expanse series, and I've been meaning to read this for a while, folks, and I I need to read this so that way I can watch season 1 of The Expanse. Then finally, The Raise a Crowd. So that is either read a book from a trilogy or you can read a whole entire trilogy. I decided to not to put down a whole entire trilogy because I wanted to make sure that I got to other books. Like, I have trilogies that I can start and finish, but they were not part of other reading challenges and things that I've been working on throughout the year. So, I'm only going to do one book instead of 3 for this prompt, which is still within the rules for Series September, and that would be Fool's Quest, which is the second book in the Tawny Man trilogy, and the 15th book in Realm of Elderlings. So, that is all of my, that's all of my books that I am thinking through possibly reading for September. For sure, of those books that I plan on getting to, for sure I'm going to read Fool's Quest, because I'm committed to reading one Robin Hobb book a month. So Fool's Quest for sure I will get to. Left-Handed Darkness I for sure want to read. Death Masks and Blood Rites I think I can easily knock out. And Unwind is another book that I think I can easily knock out and read. From there, I don't know. They all are books on my radar. Like, if I don't get to Assassin's Fate, not a big deal. I will read it in October. Although, I do kind of want to do some gothic themed, spooky themed in October. But if I need to hit Assassin's Fate in October, not a big deal. But that's all. Let me know what you plan on reading in September. Let me know your thoughts on the books that I am going to read in September. But please, if you decide to comment on the books that I plan on reading in September, keep those comments spoiler free. If there is any book that you think that I need to highly prioritize that I did not mention, let me know in those comments below. And happy reading, everyone.